Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all fabulous people on LinkedIn right now. Welcome to episode number 11 with Unleash with Ahmed Khalid. In case if you don't know me, my name is Ahmed Khalid, and the Unleash mission is mainly uplifting human greatness to its utmost potential. I believe that one word, maybe one conversation, one idea can open the scene of the screen in your consciousness. That's why this is the aim from Unleash. Before we jump into our today's topic, and for sure our hero, please let me know where are you from in the comment below, and also let me know if you can hear me or not. Today's topic is something I believe it's very essential in the B2B environment. Many people don't understand the difference between sales, marketing, trade marketing in the B2B environment. And I was one of those people who don't understand the difference between all of them. Before I joined the demand planning, I didn't understand because the operations that I have, I didn't understand the difference between trade marketing and marketing mainly. That's why today we are here to reveal all the hidden elements and to unlock all the treasures and the opportunities for B2B environment using the trade marketing. And what makes me happy and grateful that all of those will be revealed by a great thought leader in the B2B environment who is well equipped by business acumen end to end. Can I ask you, please, to welcome with me our guest today? He has a remarkable experience in route to market strategies. His business partnership attitude allows him to unlock all the treasures for the business. If we are going to talk about the trade marketing, then it's his game. His core power is focused in financial planning and budgeting. He is Mohamed Shohayeb. Stay tuned this Friday where we'll unleash how to optimize business profitability via trade marketing. Hey,
Hello,
Muhammad.
Ahmed.
Welcome. I know that it's a long time. I believe that we're waiting for this episode, and many of our audience were asking about this because today I believe that you have two massive loads and two massive values for people to for you understand this. So, Muhammad, before we start, can I ask you, please, uh, to give us? I know you for sure. If you can share with us who is Muhammad and what is the experience that you have.
Okay, for first of all, Mohamed Shohayeb, and in Saudi Arabia also, connecting from Saudi Arabia. Nice to meet you all. As a profession, I'm part of the finance world, so working in the finance department. And honestly, and I said yes, and I was so in pleasure in order to join Ahmed Khalid in this episode because I'm actually serving my real purpose in life, which is sharing knowledge, helping people, and for all of us to step up together. Studies, I studied economics, so I was graduated from economics and finance, and as I said, working in the finance, and as hobbies, reading and some video editing, still newly fresh to this part of the world. And yes, today we're sharing a lot of knowledge as much as we can to help the big audience of you.
Massive loads, Muhammad. So, thank you, Muhammad, for the great introduction. So, I will
Thank
come back to our amazing audience. Today, we have Mohidol Islam. Assalamu alaikum. He's saying, Wa alaikum assalam. Mohidol, thank you for being here. We have our lovely friend, Omondi Pam. He's from Kenya. Great to see you. Tu parles français? Huh? So, great to see you, Mondi.
you.
Uh, we have our great friend, Muhammad Albaz. What a wonderful episode watching both of you from Saudi. Love you both. Thank you, Muhammad. And hopefully we I think that we need you to ask as many questions as you can today about this topic. We have Ahmad Rida, our friend Ahmad Rida. Hi, Ahmed Egyptian connecting from Saudi Arabia. Nice to see you, Ahmed.
Nice to
Uh,
meet you.
we have also our friend Mahidol Ahmed Khaled Mohamed Shohayeb. Thank you, brother, for being here. We have also our friend Tibian. Awesome greetings from India. Thank you, brother, for being here. Our also brother Shadi Al Jackie. Nice to meet to see you both of you. Thank you, Shadi.
Nice
So,
to meet you.
Muhammad, I believe before I joined the demand planning,
Hmm.
I had a big confusion between the trade marketing and the marketing. And I still do believe, do remember how did you explain it to me in a very easy way? What is the difference between trade marketing and marketing? So, can you please explain it the same way for our audience to understand what is the difference between the trade marketing and marketing in the B2B environment?
Of course. So, starting with the marketing first, from my point of view, this is always the starting point. So, as a marketeer, for example, is always concerned with the product, how the product will perform, how I will find the market for this product, or if I have a demand in market and I should be introducing a product to meet this demand and be part of the competition of the world. So, the focus actually is on the product, first of all. And then as a marketeer, I should be working on the strategy. So even before the trade marketeer or shopper marketing or the finance or anyone to join or to be part of the table of the discussion, the marketeer himself should be understanding what is the strategy he wants to have for his own product in the market. That's the starting point. So, and second thing, he's actually concerned with the push. So he wants to
Mm,
push the product as much as he can in stores,
mm,
the branding of the product, how the product looks, is it premium or not, the quality, the shape, how is it competing versus others, the price point, everything. So this is always my starting point. How I push the product, how I put the strategy for the product. And then comes the role of the trade marketing. So it's obvious from the point of the trade marketing that he's concerned of the trade. So in
mhm,
order to meet and actually implement the strategy of the marketeer, he should be in good relation with the customer. And by customer, I mean the retail or the wholesaler or the semi-wholesaler, etc. So the trade marketing, his role actually is to have the right relationship with the customers, I mean retail, in order to put the right product in place for the marketeer to implement his strategy.
mhm,
And then something else, and another role actually, which is very important again, which is the shopper marketing. So the shopper marketing should be working in closely with both of them because the trade marketeer is ensuring that the product reach the warehouse and reach the right place of the retail, and the
mhm,
shopper marketing should be concerned with the market in the store itself or in the branch itself, from implementation, from visibility, the right promotion on shelf, etc. So the three of them should be working, starting with the marketeer, as we said, putting the right strategy, right push, and then the trade marketing will help from the trade perspective. Shopper marketing will help in store to ensure that both plans are implemented correctly.
I love what you say, how you're saying it's pull and push, because once you look into, I would say, the retail and the distributor, it's playing the game around. So one is playing the push game. So let's say from the trade point of view, the trade marketeer is playing the push from the distributor. It depends on the route to market for sure, from distributor to the retailer, and then the shopper marketing is playing it on the shelf itself. So is trying to pull the stocks from the shelf based on the shopper itself, and the marketeer is more concerned into the consumer. Am I
Exactly.
right? Like
Exactly.
that.
How the
Thank you.
product gets sold to the consumer.
Yes, thank you, Muhammad. We have our friend for sure, Ahmad Gurnas. He's saying
Pleasure.
hello. Great to see you, Ahmad. We have Ahmad Rida above the line versus below the line. For sure, Ahmad. Thank you so much for being here. So, guys, I'm asking you if you have any question in your mind, you can ask freely. I
Sure.
have loads of questions in my mind to Muhammad. So let me know if, once I see question, I will jump into your question quickly. Okay, Muhammad. The second question:
Hmm.
if I speak about the core job, if I'm trade marketeer,
Yeah.
so, what is my core job? How I can contribute to the business in a positive way? What's my core job in this point?
Sure. So as we said in the beginning from the introduction, that the trade marketing is concerned that the right product has reached the customer or reached the retailer or the wholesaler, etc. So in order for the product to reach this point, we have multiple steps to be taken. So let's assume, for example, that we're already working in a product X, and the product X already there in the warehouse of the wholesaler. So the trade marketeer jumps here because he wants to understand how the stocks are moving on shelf, and then how the stock looks like in the warehouse of the wholesaler, and then what is the right deal I should be doing with the wholesaler in order to put this product again and start replenishing again in order to have this product continuously on the shelf. So, as a trade marketing, I should be understanding first of all something that we all of us really miss is the contract. What are the
Mhm.
contractual terms with the wholesaler, for example, how the wholesaler looks at the pricing, so the net price that is the real concern of the wholesaler, etc. So he should be understanding the contract, understanding the tools on hand from stocks, from sell, how the sales story are going, what are the stocks in on shelf, stocks in the warehouse, and then he starts doing his plan in order to push the stock again and again and again, depends on the forecast, of course, in the stock of the and the warehouse of the wholesaler.
Perfect, perfect, Muhammad. Thank you so much for this. So, the question also that popped into my mind: what are the elements that you can see that from the trade marketing perspective? What are the elements that should be discussed when I have a contract with, especially in the B2B business? So, what are the elements that should be discussed and be focused when I discuss the contract with the retail, the company and the retailer? What are the core focus on that environment, especially for the commodity industry?
Of course. So for the contract, it's a wide range of inputs actually. So the trade marketing should be working closely with the shopper marketing, understanding, as we said, the strategy, and working with the finance business partner, and also the sales should be involved. All of them sitting together. Why? Because the contract is not just like an agreement to do business with certain customer. No, the contract contains a lot of elements, like for example, how the on-shelf availability of this product, the share
Mhm.
of my or the space I will be taking from the shelf, for example, for a certain product in a certain category, how the elements are of visibility specifically, which is something that is really important because this is almost 70% of the spend that any company is doing right now, how the
Mhm.
visibility spend is being put in place. So sometimes you might be having a very broad contract element, like a certain percentage or a certain absolute amount that I'm paying for visibility, but a professional or a good or a yeah, let's say a professional trade marketer or shopper marketing should be understanding what are the counterparts or what I'm getting in return from this money I'm investing. Like for example,
Mhm.
the space I'm getting extras other than the regular shelves, in-store activities, on-shelf activities, and so on. So for me as a trade marketeer, with the help of the shopper marketing, understanding what are the elements that we have on hand, and let's call them assets, because these are the spaces, these are the extra gondolas, the extra displays. And then I will start implementing the plan that we agreed on based on the strategy of the marketeer.
Mhm.
I will push the product in store, I will put the right promotion on shelf, and I will start selling these from shelf in order to meet the forecast that we agreed internally with the marketeer. So it all starts with the contract.
Wow, it's music, man. It's music to my ear. Thank you. And I think, Muhammad Elbaz, I will try to jump right now. What I will do, because if I open this question right now, you will be disappearing. So that's why. So Muhammad is asking, I think, many questions.
Sure.
Thank you, Muhammad, firstly, for asking those questions, and we will jump into one by one. So, the first question: what are the strategies, goals of making the trade offers, and how do you choose the best items that fit those strategies? Let's answer this question firstly, and we'll jump
Sure.
into the second question.
Sure. So for the strategy, as we said, that we have multiple products. Let's assume products from A, B, C, and D, for example. So each of them has a certain strategy. For example, one of them is working on a certain segment, and again, going back a step back, which is segmentation. What are the segments I'm having in market? So each and every product is serving a segment. So each and
Mhm.
every product has a separate strategy. That's first thing. Second thing, how to implement this strategy. Should I go, for example, with the quality? I will be discussing the quality and actually pushing the product that it has a premium quality than the competition. I will be working on the pack, for example, that I'm having a value pack, for example, that
Mhm.
it's a large one with an affordable price, or I will start implementing promotions. But just a disclaimer before saying promotions, actually, because if you look at the world from the US to the Middle East to the Asian, actually not all of them have the same logic of the depth or the same logic that just putting promo and pushing promo in market. So this is to answer the second question, is that what is the right promo level or what the right depth? It depends. So it depends on the market first of all. It depends on the reaction versus the stock I have. It depends if this is a liquidation for an old stock or I'm pushing a new, for example, innovation introduced to the market. Am I a solo player in this innovation or I have competition? So this is how I choose and this is how I build on to create my promo plan if needed, and how to push the right product in the right stores, because a lot of the trade marketeers, they just forget about the sensitivity of the regions, because not all the regions in a certain country
Mhm.
consume the same product, for example. So this is something that we usually drop, that we usually forget, but it should be taken into consideration.
Muhammad, just something also I will come for sure for Muhammad Baz because he has a massive load of questions. I will come back to the same point, but something came into my mind here. So when the company
Mm.
is just defining the discount depth, let's say I will give like 30% off, like I will give 40% off, I will give one plus one, whatever the pack in my mind or the discount that I will have, intensity or depth itself, based on what is the base based on this? Because I can say 30%, 40%, 50%, based on how the company is illustrating all of that.
Sure. So first of all, again, I should be understanding the nature of the product I have and the consumption of the product. That's something
Mm,
that we should be focusing on. Assume, for example, that you have a big pack, 2 liters, for example, of cooking oil. So
mm,
it depends. It varies so much that if you're giving a 30% discount on a single bottle, for example, or you're giving a 2 plus 1, which is expect that you're buying 6 liters of oil. So
mhm,
imagine that you're having 6 liters in your own kitchen,
mm.
how the consumption will look like. So it will take so long in order to,
Stocking.
sorry to say it, replenish at home the 6 liters and then go
Mm,
buy and buy again from the market. So I should be
mm,
understanding how the product is sensitive to the volume driven promotions like a 2
mm,
plus 1 or the price discount promotions like a 33 or a 30%. So
mm.
again, this depends on the product itself. Sometimes you
Perfect.
might be seeing like in certain events, because this is something that is really important for a trade marketeer, in order to understand the events like the Mother's Day, for example, Eid, back to school, all this kind of stuff that we all know across the world, like the Black Friday, for example, that is really famous in Europe and the US and started taking place actually in the Middle East. So if we're having a killer promotion from competition, for example, or I have an old stock that I want to liquidate, this is how I build my promo plan. So it depends on the factors I have or the inputs I have, and about the nature of the product itself and the consumption of this product.
Thank you, Muhammad. I will jump into the second question from Elbaz. He's asking, nowadays the purchasing power is low. What do you think about the best offer that could be more fit with the situation?
So
Bundles, one plus one, two plus one, or price off? How do you evaluate the results?
for me, I will get back again to the previous point, which is saying the volume driven or the price driven kind of promotion. So from my point of view, if I am having a low purchasing power, imagine for example that you're buying a product or two big bottles for like $40 or something, or buying a single product at a reasonable price. So for me, it might be more valuable actually if I buy the two bottles, for example, at $40 or at $20, but
Mm,
from a low consumption or a low shopping power, a shopper or a consumer might be thinking, no, I will not be spending this money right now. I will take a
mm,
single bottle, even if, for example, the price per liter is expensive. So I should be working more on price point kind of promotions. Again, this is my point of view, because you might be thinking, I don't want to stock right now. You don't know what will happen next month. You don't know I'm getting my next salary or not, how the salary will be cut if we're implementing tax, for example. So let's
yes.
give more price kind of promotions in order to give the freedom. If he wants to take two bottles, it's his own choice. But
Yeah.
don't like control his shopping behavior by pushing more volume.
Yes, and I think also, especially Muhammad, after this COVID-19, all the packs which is pushed to stock the consumer, I think
Yeah.
it was like an overstock. It was not moving from the shelf or the trade itself because the consumer was very cautious on taking this, because I want to take something single. I would say like single packs.
Exactly.
Single packs, it was moving like that because I have a discount on the pack itself. So
Yeah.
shifting the consumer behavior and understanding the consumer behavior and understanding the marketing itself, I think this is the most driver for giving the discount or aligning your promo strategy. I believe in
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
Yes. So I will jump into the second question, the third question from Muhammad. So
Sure.
he's asking, what are the best sources, courses, books, trainings to learn more about trade marketing? What are the strategies of go to market, and what are the steps of making it?
So these are three different questions actually, not a single
Just one
question.
combo.
So yeah, combined all together. So again,
Yes.
for the knowledge of the trade marketing, that's why, for example, Ahmed Khalid is having all these episodes in order to share the knowledge that you're actually getting from experience rather than getting from books. But I'll tell you one thing, and this is even what I do myself, is that I read books. For example, if you read a marketing kind of book, if you read a sales kind of book, and understand the different strategies between them, as a trade
Mm,
marketing, again, something that I might be saying as a disclaimer, that a professional kind of trade marketeer should be understanding exactly how sales works. So if he
mm,
doesn't understand these basics and fundamentals, he will not be able to work as a trade marketer. So a trade marketer, it's not something that is written in a book. So you gather a lot of knowledge from a marketing perspective, from sales perspective, from finance perspective, and then you start building your own plan and combining all together in order to be a professional trade marketer. So this is how to be.
Okay. Thank you, Muhammad. I will jump into another question. Is LinkedIn user? I'm not sure why it's not appearing, but forgive me because it's a technical challenge. So he's asking, or she's asking, understanding the ROI for your activity is one of the main tasks for the trade marketing. What tools do you recommend to optimize controlling A and B budget?
So I assume AMP budget would be the advertising and promotion kind of budget, yeah.
I
So
believe yes, marketing budget maybe.
yeah, so the marketing mix. So let's not like define the kind of budget I'm spending, because again, different companies look at the budget in different manners. So let's talk broadly about the ROI. So the ROI, it's a very simple equation. So if you get the total investment of whatever you have versus the total return, so this is the return you're getting on the investment. So I should be understanding how this investment is being pushed or put on shelf, for example. Is it a price promotion? Is it a kind of volume push from our side? And then look at the normal trend we're selling. Did we have like a kind of positive peak
Mm,
from this certain promotion or not? This is in terms of logic of applying the promotion. And the ROI is simply a simple calculation. Again, the return I got, normal sales versus the promoted sales versus the
mm,
investment that I've put. Is it again, the question of the ROI? It's not the calculation itself. It's asking myself, is it worth it to apply this promotion in market or not?
mhm,
Because
mm,
again, sometimes we look at the numbers and we forgot about the logic, like a kind of, yeah, I've put a 40% kind of promotion and it's still a positive ROI. But did you think about the brand image, for example, about the brand equity, how I'm doing versus competition? I might be spending a money in the market and I will not be able to pull it back again. So it's not just an ROI kind of calculation or a mathematical equation. I should take care also how this will hurt my brand and put myself versus
yes.
competition.
Exactly. If you allow me, Muhammad, also I will add something, maybe a little bit. Uh, I believe if we are talking about the promotion and how to optimize, how to understand the ROI, ROI simply it's the benefit over the cost. What is the
Yes.
benefit that you'll have over the cost that you give? And from my humble point of view, if we're talking about the commodities industry and the business to business environment itself, I believe it's all about uh, the how you can generate the baseline of the category or whatever the forecasting unit, because without understanding the baseline generation you will not be able to say that this is positive ROI or negative ROI. And what do I mean here baseline? So it's the sales without any kind of activities that you have in your sales. There is no promotion, there is no visibility, there is nothing that could lift up the sales to another level. So this is your baseline. So for instance, if I give you like if I sell for the whole month for let's say 1 million, and if I sell again this 1 million, it's regular sales. I would say the baseline sales, and this I will have an incremental sale of 1 million, and the next month if I give a promoted sales for the 4 weeks like 20% off, and I have an incremental of 1.1 million dollars, let's say. So it means that it's negative ROI. It doesn't make sense because I have, if you can calculate the revenue itself, my revenue for the baseline, it's 1 million, almost the same. And for let's say for the 1.1 million, 20% from the total volume, it's almost promoted. So let's assume it's X amount, which will be lower than the revenue when I make it based on the baseline. So it's negative ROI. So the game now, sometimes I believe also the companies are willing to have a negative ROI promotions because they are taking like market share. I would say they know that this is the promo strategy. So it depends, as you said, Muhammad, on the business or the category strategy or the organizational strategy based on the promotions. So
Yes.
maybe it's negative, but the category itself, they know it's negative, but there is a strategical way for that.
But just to add one point, Ahmed, the thing is that when pushing these kind of promotions, that I know that it's a negative ROI and I'm still implementing in market, we just really call it one-offs. So if I'm having a certain strategy for a very short
Mm,
period of time and implementing this, rather than
mm,
this, it will be part of my actually regular price, assuming that the consumer will understand that this is the price, I will always buy this product, and it will be part of your price, which you will be not able to pull back again in order to
yeah.
optimize your spend, going back to the budget part of the
Yes,
equation.
then it will jump into price correction. I would say it's like a
Exactly. It
price
will be part
correction of,
of your price and
okay.
you will never be able to pull it back again.
Yes, yes, it will be value for money. So we have our friend Mu'taz. He's saying, "Hi, Ahmed. Very important topic. Thank you, Mu'taz,
Thank
for your support." We have our lovely friend Karim El Komi. Great show, gentlemen. Thank you, brother.
thank you.
I'm not sure. I think it's the same LinkedIn user is asking. Okay, in FMCG companies, we can see a lot of parallel stock. What is the best practice to solve such issues?
Okay, parallel stock actually is a very wide topic. It cannot be just actually answered in a simple manner because there's different issues or different reasons behind the parallel stock. It might be price, for example. It might be quality. It might be a kind of better pack, a better perception that the import products are even better. So we should be understanding first where is the issue. Other markets, for example, near the market I'm staying, other countries are having better prices. So why my price is higher? It's because, for example, of the taxes. It's because I'm pricing at a higher level because my cost is actually higher in terms of production, for example, or importing these products. I should be understanding. Let's assume one of them is price, for example, just to make it
Mhm,
simple. So first of all, I should be understanding the price gap between myself and the parallel stock and the reason behind this price gap. So again, will I be able to take the price down? Will I be able to correct the price again, which is mainly taking the price down? Can I push more promotions? And something else which is really important, it depends on your relationship with the customers or the
mhm,
retail customers in order to be more specific. So the customer will know that he will go to X company because he has a good contract with them, he has good relation, he knows that this company is
mhm,
growing. So he will not look at the parallel kind of stock in order to be imported. And again, I should be internally understanding why this gap is there, how to optimize my own cost in order to have a better price, and then start discussing with the retail that hey guys, I'm adjusting my price, let's work on our kind of relationship to stay positive and stop this kind of parallel stock. And it depends, of course, at the size of the company you're in and the quality of the product, because you cannot be having a low kind of quality product and start negotiating with the customers. They will not accept you and will keep on importing. So
yeah,
this is in a very brief manner.
it's the brand value. Thank you, Shoaib. We have our friend for sure, Osama. He's saying, "Ya salam, the Legends Brothers in the house." Thank you, brother. He has a great show every day with a great people. Thank you for being here, Osama.
Thank you, Sam.
Assalamu alaikum, my brother Ahmed Khalid. Thank you for being here, brother, again. So we have another question from Karim Al Komi. He's asking, what are the best sources to know the basics of trade marketing? Books or courses? What do you recommend?
So I guess we discussed this. I will say it again briefly that as a trade marketing, you should be understanding what marketing is, what sales is, and what are the financials or kind of profitability of the deals or the kind of business you're doing. So mixing them all together, this is how the trade marketeer will work actually. So this is as a simple manner. And again, if there's a kind no regular or a straight book talking about trade marketing, you should be discussing the best practices. Like we all can search for best practices for companies, for example, on the internet, and understand how these or their trade marketeers has engaged in the market in order to implement the marketing strategies of their companies. So this is put again briefly as we discussed in the beginning.
Thank you, Shoaib. We'll jump into the next question. I'm not sure who is this LinkedIn user. It's not appearing, but he has a great question. So he's asking, or she's asking, how to calculate the baseline sales for a company doesn't have records of activities and promotions. It's lovely question. It's
Yes.
really lovely question. but but can I answer this? Can I
Yeah,
answer
please.
this? Okay. So I believe you cannot generate anything if you don't have the data, because generating the baseline, it's all about the activities. Because if you don't have the history, yes, you would have the total incremental sales of the history itself. But if you don't have this sales historical data, how much promotion, what are the activity segregation inside each month, I believe that you will not be able to do anything. That's why if you don't have records of activities and promotions, my advice to start record this right now. خلاص, forget about what happens in the past, and take like this is the spot today, and I will work on that. Start to work on the process, how to track your promotions, activities, percentage, whatever you have, and you can understand the incremental sales for whatever forecasting unit that you have at the same moment. And then even if you have 3 months, I know it's not a good record, because to generate the baseline you have to be at least 24 data points to track the seasonality or whatever model that you will use, because 3 months will not have, but at least you will not be blind. You will have something to work on it. And I'm not sure also baseline, the generation, the baseline that you have, is it a sell in or is it a sell out? Because it's a big difference. Because generating, most companies were generating the baseline on the sell in. I believe it's misleading, because the trade stocks, it's between the sell in and sell out. Sometimes I can see that sell in it's higher and sell out it's lower, so I can generate totally in a misleading baseline. The best way to generate the baseline, it's in the epos or the sell out itself. I hope that it's there. And if you want to add anything, Muhammad, for sure, go ahead.
Yeah, of course. So as you said, I should be building actually the history first in order to understand my baseline. But one quick briefly I would be saying it actually is how I want to place my product. So if again going to let's talk about maybe kitchen towels or toilet papers, for example. I know
Mm,
that the market is X, and I might be having from the data actually from the market, that whenever a competition introduces a new product, how the market will react to this introduction. So I
yes.
should be forecasting what if myself as a company will introduce a product in this market. So will I take the same share? Will I take 20%, 15%? Again, it's a very broad kind of a discussion, but this is how I should be building first, how I will
Mm,
push my product, what is the market share I'm aiming to, what is the history of other products being introduced, and then we'll start building my plan, we'll start building my sales, and then later on after the 24 points of data, I will be starting having this baseline, and I will understand how my product perform. Again, if I want to increase the baseline, it depends on the product quality and the product packaging and so on. If how I will penetrate more in the market to gain market share with, for example, one-off kind of promotions, volume promotion, price promotion.
mm,
But again, understand the strategy, look how I will perform in market, and then start looking at the baseline after I have some kind of history.
yeah. Thank you, Shoaib. We have our friend Nidal. He's from USA. Hello, Ahmed. Thank you, brother, for being here. We have another question from Mr. Shadi Jackie. He's asking, how did trade marketing deal with COVID-19? I think everything now has to deal with COVID-19.
Exactly. So again, it's let's pray for all the trade marketeers in the world, honestly, because they were facing a very terrible situation to
Yes,
be honest.
yes.
But again, not to put the pressure on the trade marketing, it should be a collaborative kind of work. So how the
Yeah.
marketing will react to this kind of COVID is, do we have a demand on the product or not? How we'll be positioning our product. Again, some products were we were lucky with the COVID 19. We heard that some companies did like tremendous kind of results because their product had a lot of demand. in the time
Yeah,
of COVID. On the contrary, like the airline, I know it's not related to the trade marketing, but the airline kind of industry, it was kind of yeah, a mess, honestly, for them.
yes,
So
yes,
how did the COVID, how the trade marketeer, again, to put it in a very simple manner, it depends again. Maybe going back to the old questions we discussed of the low purchasing power, I will push volume or price, how I will maintain my regular sales, my baseline, how I will be having like one-offs kind of price corrections in the well-known or in the known kind of events, Mother's Days, back to school, Eid, etc. So this is how the trade marketing will do his best. And again, a very important thing, the relationship with the kind of customer, with the relationship with the retail. Do they trust the product of your company or
yeah,
not? Because the retailers, they don't want to carry any stocks right now, and they're
for sure.
very kind of sensitive of getting letting cash out. So it depends on the product quality and the relationship of the retailer.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad. Uh, LinkedIn user.
Yep.
It's my first time to attend your session, but really it's contained an amazing information to me at least. Thank you so much, and I will figure out after what's the technical issue, and I will have to connect with you. Thank you so much. So we have our friend again, Nidal. Greeting to your guest, Muhammad. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
brother. We have another question from Muhammad Albaz. He's asking, what is the most tougher situation that the trade marketeer may face and how to deal with it right now, I would say.
Budget cut. So I guess this is the worst message a trade marketer anywhere in the world can hear. Budget
Mm,
cut. So he wants to maintain the kind of sales or the kind of relationship he has. He has a strategy to implement for the marketeer. At the same time, his finance business partner is saying, "Sorry, we're not making any profit in our bottom line. You have to cut your budget." So
mm,
this is a very good question actually because it's an eye opener.
mm,
Because yes, some kind of trade marketeers, they're working on a kind of product that it's selling by itself. It's like a core kind of product.
yeah,
It has a
it's like
demand.
commodity. Mm,
Yeah. So when they get stuck and they are asked to cut budget, this is the real deal. How they
mm,
will get the best out of it, the best profitability,
mm,
with the kind of tools or kind of input they have.
mm,
So one of them, I will get a bit to this topic, which is the mix, for example, the mix of the products I'm selling. So a company might be so happy, again, we're getting back to the $1 million kind of sale per month. They might be happy that they are having $1 million of sales, yet they are selling 10,000 tons, for example,
mm,
and a cheap kind of product. Or they can get the $1 million from like 1,000 or 2,000 tons. Again, it's a very naive kind of example, but just to explain that it's so
how it looks
important
like,
to
yes.
work on the mix exactly
Mix,
because
yes.
better priced products with a better cost managed products, you will be getting your bottom line. So this is how the trade marketing should be working with the finance, working with the marketing to defend the strategy of the product of the company, at the same time not drop sales, and at the same time optimize the kind of budget that the finance is asking for.
Wow. Great one, Shohaib. Thank you for the great answer. So we'll move into the second question. We have Mohidol. He's asking, is trade marketing only important with FMCG products or it's important to other industries too?
So again, not FMCG product. A trade marketing can be named in sometimes in the companies. For example, the sales kind of person will be doing the kind of trade marketing. So again, that's why we're defining the broad
Budget.
kind of we're defining the kind of broad explanation or definition of the trade marketing. So how to put the right product in the warehouse of the retail. It depends. It doesn't matter FMCG or non-FMCG kind of company, and again doing or having the right relationship with the retail and implementing the strategy of his company, as simple as that.
It's also about the company hierarchy and
Yes.
the maybe as you said that sales can be taking. I see many companies that sales is doing this budgeting for the
Exactly.
trade. He's taking this responsibility, and I see also another companies that demand planning. They're taking the lead in this area, and another companies are taking the finance. They're taking this lead on that area. So it's all about the breakdown or the hierarchy on the company itself. But again, it's broad, as you said. It's all about the route to market, how it looks like, and the company decision on that. It's not only for FMCG.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mahidol. The next question from Mu'taz Yassin. So he's asking, hello, Ahmed. Thank you, brother. I have got a question. In terms of the product placement and price positioning, if right placement for the product is not found, what is the right way to pursue this situation, especially when the brand is premium and new in the market? I love this question.
Yeah, it's a very good
Uh,
question actually. So this will let us get back to first of all the contract or the kind of contract I'm having with the retailer. So again, if I'm a strong company, I know that my products are premium, either for example the regular kind of core products I'm selling or the new innovations I'm introducing. I know my size in the market. I should be negotiating better contracts with the customers. And why I'm saying contracts, because again, to get back to this point, the contracts are clearly stating what is the share of the shelf of the
mm,
certain brand. For example, let's get back to the kind of kitchen towels. I know that this is the kind of market size, this is the shelf, and this is my share of the shelf that I'm having in these kind of retailers. So you should be ensuring that the right and fair share is there, first of all.
mm,
And then, as we said in the contract, I'm having the kind of visibility investment or the extra kind of visibility investment in store, on shelf, etc., that I'm getting the right benefit or the right payback of the money that I'm spending. You cannot be spending a hefty load of money while you're not getting the right visibility you agreed on with the customer. So
mm.
ensuring both those things, again, understanding your size of the
Wow.
market and negotiating the content and implementing the contract kind of counterparts, you'll be having the right position, of course, in the
I
store.
love it. I love it, Shoaib. And also, I want to add something to Mu'taz call and this question. I believe, Mu'taz, if I understand your question about the right placement for the product, I believe that now you are trying to generate demand for a product. You're just having a product and creating demand. And I believe if most innovations and most products are failed in the marketplace because of this challenge, because if you don't innovate for the customer or for the consumer, if the source of innovation it's not the consumer, I'm telling you it will not be sustainable in the marketplace. Don't try to maneuver or get. I know this personally because most companies in multinational companies and the big companies that they have a centralized functions and centralized places all over the world, they work simultaneously. What do I mean here? That I have some brand, a new brand or new innovation. It's performing very well in a specific place around the world. So it doesn't mean it will work in the same place of another country because you have different behaviors, you have different consumer behavior, you have different purchase power, you have different attitudes for the consumer itself. So
Of course.
don't try to replicate some of the brands or innovation from a place and to create demand, but rather work how to create demand within the consumer, understand what are their challenges, and make a brand. By this way, you will be able to understand the brand value and you will put your position for the price in the right place. I hope that it answers your question.
Can I add one point, Ahmed, please? And
Sure.
again, go back to the contract quickly, not to waste your time, is that I should be having a certain element or a certain agreement on the newly introduced products. So I'll be
Mm,
having like a kind of special kind of visibility, a special kind of placement in store in order
mm.
to let people know that I'm bringing this new product. And then it will take the regular kind of space on its shelf or from part of the brand or the category later on. But having this element in the contract is actually a strength for the company in order to have the right push for the innovation.
Amazing, Shoaib. Thank you so much for this addition. So we have Osama again. MashaAllah, brilliant pointer. Thank you, brother. We have our friend Jamal. Hello, my friend. Great to see you. Thank you, brother. We have Muhammad Tolba, our brother. Great discussion, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our lovely brother Muhammad Sajini. Thank you for the great
Thank you.
information.
Thank
Great
you,
to
Nadine.
see you
Thank you so much.
today. We have also Abdul Malik Bajamal. Great to see you, brother. Hello, Ahmed. It's Abdul Malik from KSA Jeddah. Any advice you would give to someone at the beginning of his career in trade marketing? Thank you. So I'll let it to you, then I will come back to Shoaib.
You want me to start answering? Because as a trade marketer, again, briefly, you should be understanding how the market works. First of all, you should be understanding the product you're working on. It depends which kind of segment you're working on in the market, first of all. Being in the shoes of the sales kind of person, because you cannot
Mhm.
be a trade marketer without understanding sales and your salesperson. Second of all is having a good relationship with your finance business partner and marketing business
Mhm.
partner. That's something that is really essential to understand how these people work, what are their targets, in order for you also to serve your target. And the this is mainly how you work as a trade marketing. And the most important element out of them is to search for the right tools. And by tools, actually, in our world, is data. So you're having the right data from the shelf, from the trade, the right stocks, etc., for you to build a kind of how can I say it, a kind of idea, or how to
Mhm.
actually market for this product for your trade kind of customer. So
Perfect.
this is briefly to be how to
Thank
be a
you.
trade marketing career.
Thank you, Shoaib. I will just add one thing. It's all about attitude. And as you said, Shoaib, it's all about attitude. How you would have the attitude of business partner and how you can have and willingness of opening you have on the same category. I would say that I would assume that you're responsible for a category or for an organization. So you have to stay and understand. Let's say that you should have business acumen and have an attitude to listen, because I know the pressure, it comes into a certain point where the pressure in the business, it comes that you are thinking only in your area. So if you want to make a real change, my advice is to understand the whole cycle from supply chain, from finance, to be willing to understand what's happening in the market, not only working at the retailer side, you have also to understand what's happening from the shopper side and from the consumer side. By this way, you will be able to master the business, not only trade marketing, but you will understand the end-to-end cycle. It's all about attitude. My advice, process, tools, it depends from a company to company, but what will make you different, it's the attitude, as Shoaib said, and the business partner attitude. This is my advice I can give it to you.
Of course.
Okay, time is flying as usual, but let me,
Uh,
I want to ask, I want to ask you, maybe it will be the last question. Um, how trade marketing can contribute in the income statement for the company, where
that's a
where it looks like. Mhm.
honestly, the kind of perspective that a trade marketing or trade marketeer has is that he's contributing only in the top line or sales. So this is something that is really wrong from my point of view, because yes, as we said again, we should you can be generating sales, or you can be generating a hefty amount of sales. At the same time, you're not making any profit. So, getting back to the kind of business partnering attitude is that you should be understanding how the whole cycle works. You cannot be putting your dreams on a piece of paper or going and selling to the customer like no tomorrow. At the same time, you're hurting your P&L in terms of spend and in terms of bottom
Mhm.
line. You're not generating any profit at the end. And you cannot be hurting your supply chain colleague because he will not be able to fulfill the demand. You cannot be actually destroying how the P&L looks, because the marketing, as much as he has a strategy in market, he's the owner of the P&L. So he should be understanding how to get the best, again, mix, the best pricing points, how to get the best deals with the customers. That's
Mhm.
first of all, how to get the right kind of spend, not to overspend versus the budget that was agreed internally, and ensure that the kind of deals you're doing are generating enough profit for the company. This is how the trade marketing should be working closely, not only on top line on sales. He should be looking at the profitability of the business,
Mhm.
that he's doing the right thing for the company or not.
Thank you, Shoaib. I think we have two more questions to close because
Okay.
people were asking. Okay, so our friend Jamal is asking one question. One problem we used to have in top line is the trade gifts. And I think this the continue of the question. Its impact on sales volume is difficult to assess. So I think he's speaking about the trade gifts, which is I think in NBI, I believe.
It depends. Actually, it's a very maybe broad question, and I'll take it that some companies, they have maybe a policy that they can give a kind of trade gifts to the customers, to the retailers, and so on. How to assess in terms of volume? It's like,
Mm,
sorry, when you're having like a TV advertisement, for example, for the
mm,
oil you're selling, and
mm.
you cannot assess if this TV advertisement has generated actually sales or not. It's
How
actually
much?
not that hard. But you should be looking at a broader kind of numbers. Like for example, taking the last 6 months, taking the 1 year average, and see
Mhm.
if you're having peaks in sales or peaks in volume, almost near to the time you have given the gift, or near the time you have actually introduced the product through advertisement, etc. Or has the momentum of volume increased in the last 1 year after introducing, for example, the advertisement in the beginning of the year? So this is how you look at the numbers, how the share, for example, your share at this customer, how it's working right now, and if you're
Mhm.
getting the right counterparts from the contract with this customer. I know it's not, you cannot
It's
be
very
putting it in a
tricky.
piece of paper, yes,
Yeah.
but these are the things you should be looking at.
Yes, it's a very tricky question because I
Very.
believe, especially I believe it's more to the trade promotions or the trade spend. Sometimes it's not promotion, but some activities that you're doing, it gifts, vouchers, something like that for categories, especially the ROI on that. It will be very difficult if you do
Yes.
it on a specific category or an aggregated category. But if you do it for a specific size, a specific SKUs, I believe that you can take
Exactly,
the
model it,
ROI
yes.
on that. But just to have it on aggregate level, I think it's all about the contribution. Or we can take a proportion factor. Nothing will tell you that it's 100% accurate. But you have, I believe that what you're saying, it's totally right. It will affect drastically the sales, and it's difficult to assess. Thank you, Jamal, for this question. The last question from Muhammad Tolba. He's asking, as more people are buying online now, how, in your opinion, can the trade marketeer cope with online buying?
Okay, a very good question actually, because we can see that the behavior of the people has gone actually towards the online shopping. But
Mm,
honestly, the trade marketing should not be stopping at a physical store, from my point of view,
mm,
because again,
mm,
the kind of platforms that are serving your selling your product to the market are still actually customers, are still traders. So they
mm,
have their warehouses and they have the kind of strategies that they have. So the strategy of a trade marketing will differ, of course, from a physical kind of store to an online kind of store, because you have some different tools. Like you cannot be putting, for example, an extra visibility in store on the website. So on the website, you'll be having better search. So when you type the product, you'll be on the top of the search. You'll be having some advertisement on the right, some advertisement on the left. When you search, for example, for the toilet paper, you'll be on the first line when we're searching for this, getting the bestseller kind of or
mm.
recommended kind of sticker. So this is how the trade marketing
Yes.
should be adjusting himself from an offline kind or a physical kind of store to an
Mm,
online kind of store. And again, so if your product has demand, it has the right quality, right price point, it will be sold anywhere. As simple
yes.
as that.
Yes, exactly. And I think also, Shoaib, if the model that Muhammad is talking about, if it's B2C, I think in the environment of B2C, there is no trade marketing. It's all about the marketeer. I'm not sure. There is some companies that they have, as you said, it's hybrid model that they have like e-commerce under their channels, sales channel, but the companies that they are working drastically 100% on B2C, I believe that there is no trade marketing at this point because the promotions, it's all sorted out on online on the website or web based, so it's going like that. So there is no trade. Everything is aligned on the business or on the organization itself. So you don't need to push stocks. The stocks that you have, it's all owned by the company. This is what I understand. Muhammad, now it's 53 minutes. So just as I always say, it's time is flying.
Yeah.
Um Really, I'm so glad to have you today and the amount of the values that you drove today, and for me especially, something new for me. Seriously, for that, and I would like to thank you for your amazing values and for the beautiful time and giving us these values today. And
It's a
also, I
pleasure.
would like to thank the lovely audience as usual. And what can I say? If any one of you guys want anything related to trade marketing or finance or anything, please don't hesitate to come directly to Muhammad at any time. So, Mike is over to you if you want to say anything, Muhammad.
It's a pleasure actually being part on your platform Unleash actually, because yes, yani, you're pushing us, you're pushing all of us, all your audience and all your يعني whomever you're hosting in your episodes to share knowledge, to ask the right questions, because again, it's not wrong to ask the questions unless we're learning and we're sharing knowledge with others. So it's a pleasure actually being part of this platform,
Same
and
here.
I'm happy with the interaction, as you said, from the audience. It actually made the conversation very fruitful, and the right questions were asked today. So it's
Yeah.
a real pleasure,
Thank,
honestly.
thank you, Muhammad, for the great time, and hopefully we'll catch up later. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Have
Thank
a great
you.
day.